Welcome to the Leg It Sportcast. It's me, Andy Grant.
It's me, Jordan Neild.
How's it going?
Not bad, mate. All good, you?
Yeah, good. Been a good week. Podcast are flying. We had Molly in.
Yeah, that was
Molly's will have been out yesterday.
Boss.
As in, it's Friday now when this is out. So yeah, go back and listen to Molly's boss chat, wasn't it?
Oh, mate, brilliant. She's some character, like.
Yeah, it got deep as well, didn't it?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, obviously on the surface, she's a UFC fighter. That's what she's known for, but...
It was hard as
yeah,
fuck.
yeah. There's just so much more to her, though, isn't he?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, the type of person she is, like, obviously the plans she's got.
Yeah.
She's just
Such a
all
proud
around it.
scouser, isn't she, as well?
Brilliant. But that could have went on for 3, 4, 5 hours. We
Loved it. Yeah, so if you haven't listened to that, go back, listen to Molly's episode on the Sportscast with me and George. Really good. Last week of sport. Well, it's been great, and what's nice, actually, we put out some questions this week which kind of go over a few of the things that happened in the last week of sport, and obviously this week as well. So yeah, should we start off with our tips from last week then, or go into the questions? And
I went Davis points, didn't I? Javonte Davis, and to be honest, he dropped Barrios in the 8th, and then he got up and he won some rounds. He was dead, and when we got to the 11th, I thought, I'm in here. Yeah. And then just a body shot from hell, mate.
Yeah, I seen it.
But yeah, unlucky one. But as I say, last week what I said, it was overpriced. You know, he was never going to blow him out completely. And he, and we were nearly there.
Similar with my tip, Wales. They were overpriced, but seemingly for a reason, because they got absolutely tonked.
I was just I didn't watch it, but I was just refreshing, and it was like the other week when we got on the phone for Portugal. 1 goal, 2 goals.
My mate, my good mate Gary Judge, shout out Gary. He said he was going to bet on Denmark, and then he said he listened to the podcast and he started going, yeah, you know what, yeah, they are overpriced, aren't they? Yeah, and he kind of fell into it a bit. But like I said from the start, international football is not my forte, so I'm not going big on any of these bets until we get back into proper footy. So yeah, both of our tips were nil pois.
Been a funny week in the old football world, hasn't it?
Mad. So again, we'll just discuss it because some of these questions will be what we've mentioned. So start of the week was France, wasn't it?
Yeah, France, Switzerland.
Which was, I had a little bit of betting heartache on that one. I just thought France would be an absolute banker.
Yeah, I mean, I only watched a bit of that game, but I just didn't see how they lost. I know that's stupid to say in football, but like, if you'd have given me at the start of the game, I know there's probably a few after timers who were like, I knew Switzerland would win, but if you'd have given me 20-1 Switzerland to win, I'd have said, nah, you're all right.
Still no point in it, yeah.
But
yeah,
football.
I thought Pogba played unbelievable as well. I've seen a lot of people saying, why doesn't he do that for United every week and stuff, and obviously different tactics, different formations, but for Pogba, some of the passes...
It's like at least a life in it for him. For, like his pass in the first game against Germany, that's where the own goal come from, that was brilliant, and then like every other game he's just been sort of kicking on, but I think that team's set up to like allow him to do to pretty much do what he wants. I think the only time Pogba has issues is when he's got responsibility and he's got to go the other way, or like, do you know what I mean? Yeah. But like obviously he's got people like Kante and Rabiot and people like that who sort of do Kante does the dirty work for like half the team, but like they do his dirty work, and then he's allowed to just go and be Paul Pogba really. And I think
they go 1-0 down, and I'm thinking, can't believe I've just lost money betting on them. Then they bring it back, and I'm thinking, right, happy days. You know, it was a 3-1 in the end, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think
was it 3-1? Sure, it was 3-1.
I was just having my head in my hands at this point for you.
Well, I'm thinking, 3-1, happy days. Bets come in, then it goes 2-1.
Yeah, 3-all ended, didn't it?
But even in the last minute, France hit the crossbar as well in the last minute. Couldn't believe that. Goes to 3-all. So then anyway, I've lost my money on France, so then I put another bet on France to win on penalties, which was, I think they were 3 or 4 to 1. I thought, brilliant. You know, I fancy, there's a lot of big name players there, being in these type of experience situations before, a lot of experience, and they get beat on pens. Mbappe of all people. You text me saying at least he'll be back for Tranmere away from pre-season.
But to be honest, like, I don't think he ever looked confident at all.
No, I don't.
You could just see it etched all over him. The worst thing about that is when the goalie like didn't want to celebrate. Obviously, this VAR thing that we've gone over and over and over. He was looking around to say like, am I allowed to go?
Well, Mbappe was kind of looking, when he go, and he's come off the line a bit.
Give me another goal.
Yeah.
But now, as soon as he was coming, sort of for the penalty, I just thought he doesn't look like he's, you know.
It's just so ironic. The best player in the world, arguably one of the best players in the world.
12 yards out, free shot. It's the pressure though, isn't it? It's like
you can't replicate that, can you? I mean,
I seen Henderson saying about England, saying we're practicing penalties, but it doesn't matter.
No.
Like, even at any sort of, if you go and play, I don't know, 7-a-side, you mate, and there's a penalty, you just pick a spot and you just put it in there. But even if you replicate it on sort of like, you know, a decent semi-pro standard, whatever, the pressure list is still there. And that's
at that level, your whole country watching you. What can you do to replicate that?
There was a little, did you see that little tiff between I think it was Mbappe's family and Rabiot's family?
No.
In the stands, like, I think, I don't want to speak like for him, but I think it was like his mum or someone in Rabiot's family was like pointing at Mbappe's family as if saying, like, you've knocked us out. I'll send you the clip. Yeah, it's mental. You're proper having a go in the stands.
Yeah, so that was the Tuesday night, was it? Or Wednesday night?
I lost track of days, just footy
every day. But you know, just when there's not a match on, it's the 5 o'clock and you're like, what's the footy on? Oh, there is one today.
I feel like they should have, like the point we're in now, they should have spread it out a bit. I know it's like into 2 days, isn't it? I think it's 5 and 8 o'clock kickoffs. But you know, if you had one and then sort of one-on-one, I think that would probably work better. But yeah.
Portugal, our favourites, went out. Bit gutted with that, to be honest.
Yeah, they underperformed, didn't they? I sort of felt like they were trying. Well, I was hoping that they were sort of, you know, going through the gears a little bit, but I think the game against Germany just knocked the stuff out of them, really. And
I've been massive confidence, lack of confidence there after that game.
So yeah, they went, and then sort of we rolled into England.
So one of the questions where maybe we can try and explain it, shed a bit of light on it. One of the questions we got was from Mark Younger. Said, you need to discuss the anti-English on the pod to a non-Scouser. Well,
it's an interesting one, isn't it?
It is an interesting one. I feel personally, I mean, I sound really two-faced now and hypocritical, because when I was asked to do a motivational talk to the England team, I got proper swept up in it. And I was like wanting England to do well. And then now that I've not worked with them the last couple of years, I've gone back into the kind of Scouts. I couldn't give a fuck about them.
Yeah.
And for me personally, I guess everyone's different. And listen, and there are Scousers who think that this is a load of shite and we should support England. Me personally, I've been going to match now, watching Liverpool for a number of years, and the amount of England fans I see giving Scousers dogs abuse. And I get banter between footy fans, I get that. But, you know, just general hatred towards Scousers, which is fair enough. You know, couldn't give a fuck like, but it's just one of those things. And there's so many times where there's videos of England fans just acting like absolute bellends.
Yes, I know there's bad people in every sort of supporter group in the world, Liverpool included. We've got our fair share of idiots. Yeah. But obviously that stuff goes in, and like, it's, you know, we all hate Scousers. That song gets rang around England games and things a lot. But a lot of mine's not actually to do with me being Scouse or like anything like that. It's more, I don't identify with anything about the England national team. Like that, in order for me to support Liverpool, I sort of, you know, and that's even been tested this year, you got to identify with the team or the morals or anything. So just like, and I look at England national team and I don't see anything there. I might as well be watching Exeter. I don't care if they win, lose or draw. So like, if I'm not invested, then why just through the pressure of, well, you're English, why should I get on board with it if I don't feel anything towards it? I
also feel as well, my passion is Liverpool Football Club, and I think when you love something so much, it's then difficult to go, oh yeah, I'm just as bad. No, I'm not. And I'm one of these all or nothing type people, so I
that's my thing. I don't like, to be honest, a lot of what I'm quite like having to go people on social media at the moment, and a lot of that's like just going too far with it, like having a laugh, because you know you're going to get reaction. Like loads of my mates are all like, England and all that, so I just play devil's advocate and just sort of have a laugh with it.
Yeah.
But I truly just don't care about them, but I don't see why just because you're from England, why you should then automatically have to be the most patriotic person. If you're not on board with it, you're not on board with it, do you know what I mean? And I really don't believe, you know, I think a large section of England in general sort of look down, not down upon, but class Liverpool as something else.
100%.
It's not, for me, it's not, you know, I don't walk around saying I'm Scouse, not English. If someone asked me, I don't sort of say, yeah, I'm an English person. I just don't see why I should be pressured on the place I was born to get behind it.
It's probably a better point that I made of if you don't feel an affiliation to it, then why should you be that bothered by it? Mine is a bit of that and a bit of the fans. I've just had so much shit over fans over the years, I think.
I mean, I do get that thing, and that video going round of like, you know, they sing this stuff about German bombers and like, and then we all hate Scousers and just stuff like that. And for me, you know, I just look at that and think I don't want no part of it.
Yeah, I think, and like say, I don't give a fuck about it. Do you know what I mean? That sole thing is not making me not support England. But if you did want to take it a bit serious, a bit deep, let's just say you got really offended by that. I don't know whether it's classed as being racist or something, it's just scousist or something, I don't know what you'd call it. But imagine going to support a team and you were a bit nervous thinking, God, you know, 500 people might start shouting, we all hate, you know, a certain race or a certain religion or a certain place, and you happen to be from that place, you probably wouldn't want to go and support them.
It wouldn't stand up anywhere else. Like, and
you know, it just wouldn't, exactly right. You wouldn't get 500 Liverpool fans saying we all hate so and so, whatever, like that. A certain thing.
It's true, and I don't, by no means, like, I don't believe everyone who supports England is like these people, or the, like, you know, the racists, or even if they hate Scousers or nothing like that. I honestly don't believe that, but like, there's a section of them that, and it's probably more than the small percentage that comes with club football, because it's like a congregation of so many people.
Yeah.
So it's naturally going to be a bigger percentage. But you know, there's loads of things about England, and the podcast's probably not long enough. I'm representing England and stuff that I just don't agree with. So like, it's one of them, and I think, you know, the lines get blurred a bit when you start being on social media and being a bit of an idiot and like just skitting people.
You're baiting after time.
Yeah, people think like, oh, they really do hate England, but it's not that deep. Do you know what I mean? It's just a case of I don't really care, but if I'm going to sit here and watch Euros, I'm going to play devil's advocate and have a bit of a laugh with it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
And I just think it is mad though, the fan thing. And again, I'm not saying it's all England fans, but you'd have Liverpool and Manchester will have their banter, and it's based on rivalry and success, and it'll be like Scousers and Manx against each other, which is great, and I can get on board with that. But to have the whole of England, it's not the whole of England, but you know, people from all over the country come together and yet just say we hate Scousers. I mean, that's pretty fucked up. That to say, you know, Scousers hate Manx and Manx hate Scousers, great, and you know, Leeds hate United and United hate Leeds, great. But for the whole of England fans to say we hate Scousers,
and
I
then
think
they say keep politics out of footy. Don't kneel because I keep politics out of footy. But you know,
yeah. So anyway,
at the bottom of it, just, you know, you either choose to support England or you don't, and you know.
And I'm not that arsed.
Happily choose not to.
You did get down on one knee for the national anthem.
I was a couple of beers for this. Yeah, they got a couple of looks in the visa when I took the knee for the national anthem.
So that was, hopefully that Mark's answered your question, mate. What was the other one? Someone said, how did you feel when the Harry Kane goal went in?
Yeah.
2-0.
You know what? The Muller thing hurt me more when he went one-on-one, and like, someone who's been so good over the years, so reliable.
He's been around forever.
Yeah. Pops up and he's like 31. He's done about 18 World Cups.
Yeah, hasn't he?
But yeah, that annoyed me more, because like, if you're not supporting England, you at least want a bit of controversy. Do you know what I mean? You at least want it to go deep, or like. So, and that was our, you know, us supporting against England. That was our best chance, I think.
Our best chance.
So
England done well, didn't they? To be fair,
like when you take all like emotion out of it, you know, Gareth Southgate got a load of things for his team, probably worked in the end. You know, Kane scored.
Sterling's on fire, isn't he?
He is, unfortunately.
One other question was, which was a great question.
He looks more free for England, Sterling, which is quite surprising given the pressure he's usually been under. But like, he looks like he can just play.
Yeah, given that team he plays in. I need to try and find who said it without being rude. Gareth Southgate, tactical mastermind, or
getting lucky?
Is he fucking fluking it?
Yeah, I reckon he's fluke. I reckon he sits down in his office after the games. He goes, "Oh, another one."
That was some orange ball apparel.
Yeah.
I mean, without name dropping, I've met him and spent quite a bit of time with him. To be fair, he has got this like quiet confidence. If you think like he knows he's got his shit together, and he might come across as a little bit of, you know, but yeah, I was a little bit in awe of him, to be honest, when I met him. I think he's
made for international footy. I don't know whether he's got like the, I mean, I'd say I've never met him, but I don't think he's got like the nastiness or like the cutthroat,
the robustness
to like cope with these big egos day in day out and leaving people out and stuff like that. And I think that's sort of at an international level where it just, it's a couple of weeks of the year, a couple of games. I think that suits him down to the ground. I don't think he's a bad manager. I think he understands the game. I think he's quite knowledgeable. I don't doubt that. But I just think this whole setup is perfect for him. So there's no surprise that,
I agree, mate. You've seen with some managers where they come in and then the grind of, press conferences every 3 days in the Premier League. You're training every day. You're playing Champions League midweek, then again at the weekend in the Carling Cup or whatever. It can fucking wear you down.
And to be fair, like, apart from our little percentage of people who don't get behind it, as the England manager, most of the country is sort of pushing in your direction. They sort of want to be positive about it until you lose. But they want to, it's not sort of, you haven't got to deal with rivalries or, another manager, the old Alex Ferguson, Arsene Wenger, or like Rafa Benitez having a go at someone. You haven't got to worry about that. It's sort of just like, you get to pick the players you bring in. You have them for a small period of time, and you hopefully be successful. I think it just...
And he's not getting judged, is he? No. Really, he's not getting compared to 1966.
Yeah, not until obviously it goes up massively when you do fall out of a sort of a big competition or something. But I think now, even obviously on the back of what got to the semi-final of the World Cup, even if they went out, if they went out to Ukraine, there'd probably be a bit of backlash. But I reckon a large part of the country can probably see a bit of progress with England, as England fans. So I think he probably, he's probably still got a large percentage of the population still in his corner. And I think that just works perfectly, because he does look like, I reckon if you sat with him for an hour, you'd probably say, proper decent fella, got himself Southgate. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And he, like I said, I really, really liked him. And I think the progress of that team, was it right in thinking he's managed the under-21s?
Yeah, I think he went through the youth levels, but I think his club career, he was like Middlesbrough and stuff like that, wasn't he? But he got sacked a couple of times. But then I think he went into like the youth England sort of. So
he's obviously got an understanding of a lot of the players who are coming through now, the Bellinghams
and he was a big like England first player, wasn't he? When he was, I think he was quite vocal in his playing career, how much he loved playing for England. So that's in his favour as well. And he sort of played in an era where a lot of it was like, club rivalries would go to the international camps and stuff like that. And to be fair to him, whatever we say about England or, I don't want them to get beat or whatever, they do look like a team who were there together. You've seen Henderson celebrating on the side of the pitch and stuff. I don't think there's that sort of club rivalry there. I think
that is the one thing that I got from when I was with them a couple of years ago. I come away kind of quietly confident and thought, these bunch of lads have got each other's back. Like these, I didn't know whether they want to win the World Cup or not, but I thought these are together at least anyway.
100%. And I think that goes a long way, especially in international footy, because if there's no cohesion, you've got barely no chance, haven't you? I mean, I don't think it's the same cohesion that's on a club level, but if he's got over that and he's took England forward that way, you can only say fair play to him. And I'll be honest, I don't want them to win it, but I think they'll go now. Inevitably, will go deep into the competition now.
They surely got to go to the final now, haven't they?
I mean,
Ukraine. If anyone follows Jordan on Instagram, he's got Yusek doing a little come on Ukraine.
Yeah, mate, Yusek, Lomachenko, Shevchenko. Trying to find anyone. I was obviously I've backed Scotland. Bought merchandise. Didn't quite buy German merchandise because this is all a joke, but I have been browsing Ukraine flags.
See, now we're just getting to the wine point now,
$4.99 on Amazon. You can't say no to that. Outside the car. Yeah, it is all a joke.
Yeah. So going through some of the questions. So Kane 2-0, France are out. Who do you think will win the Euros? So you've got to think England are going to get to the final now. Mm-hmm. They're going to play Ukraine and then they're going to play either Sweden or...
No, I think Sweden went out and they're going to play Ukraine or they're going to play Denmark or Czech Republic.
As you can see, I'm banging to the Euros.
Yeah, Denmark or Czech Republic. And I think Italy have got to be favourites. They've got to be. Even,
So sorry, Ukraine next and then...
Denmark or Czech.
Okay.
It could be written in the stars for Denmark.
Yeah.
That happens, doesn't it? Liverpool 2005.
It is things like that, isn't it? What do you think? Yeah.
But I think you've got to make Italy favourites, haven't you? England second favourites, I would imagine. Spain have not
Belgium, no.
Yeah, I could see it, but I just think they're another one. Like,
who are actually the bookies' favourites? I just think with Lukaku's goals,
Yeah. I can see what you're saying. Yeah, I mean that's going to be a hell of a game, Belgium Italy. But I just think Italy we've just been talking about cohesion. I think they've got it absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
The same we touched on a couple of weeks ago about them.
Had England the favourites.
Are they 2-1?
15-8.
And then what's it go?
Spain, Italy, Belgium, Denmark.
What Italy?
4-1. Belgium 13-2. Big Romelu up front.
I'd have that. We talk a lot in the podcast about, but he's getting it wrong. I'd have that. Italy, England, Belgium. I don't know how Spain have crept up to second favourites.
I've not watched much of Spain, to be honest.
No, they haven't got the old, Xavi, Iniesta, Torres, all these players anymore, Fabregas, but they've got, they've got a couple of players who would like on the up, and maybe in 4 years we're going to be going, oh, that was a good squad, that actually. Yeah. But I just think Italy have got the perfect blend. They've got players.
Honestly, when I see the bookies, and the bookies aren't often wrong, but I'm thinking,
what are you watching?
And my knowledge of football is that shit that I don't see why England are 15-8 favourites.
Yeah, but you've got to think about. I wouldn't imagine they'd be on the international bookmakers be favourites. They want to take. If you put your bookmaker head on, you want to take as many bets. You probably history would tell you that England might choke. So you want to take as many you want to get as many people in, and people are going to go England favourites. Oh my god, the bookies don't get it wrong. Bang, 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 bang.
Yeah, I guess so.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the very clever people. It's the reason why they're all rich.
What'd be interesting is, bearing in mind that Ronaldo is out the competition at the moment, he's still favoured to be top goal scorer. The fact that you've got Lukaku in it at 4-1, it's how far you think Belgium would go. If you fancy Belgium to maybe win it, then Lukaku at 4-1 might be a good bet. But
I think I'd make Italy favourites. As I said, I just think they're very well drilled. And I overlooked them really coming into this.
Same.
But
if you're going to do a forecast, Italy to beat England 15-2 again.
I think, I can see that being the final, but that Italy-Belgium game's the one, isn't it? That's what's going to tell you.
Yeah.
That's what's going to tell you.
Potential winners, maybe, or at least England's opponents anyway.
For sure.
Yeah, so I'm going to go Belgium. I think it wins one of the questions. You reckon Italy?
Well, that's the final. We revisit this and go into it. Yeah. Well, it can't be the final, can it? Obviously, idiot.
Back to transfers. Sancho looks like he's gone to United, which I'm gutted about, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean,
I know we've not seen much of him this Euros.
It's been on the cards, hasn't it? For what?
Southgate got a daughter or something. Yeah. Sancho might have been out there or something. Yeah. Why hasn't he got a look in this tournament?
I don't know. It's by face fitting, I guess, isn't it? But I don't know whether as we've said multiple times with these transfers, is it weighing him down a little bit, this whole thing? And, Gareth Southgate can see that on a training pitch or whatever, and his head's not quite with it. Because this is a big move for him, because he's gone from, I think he was City as a youngster, City, Dortmund, and now, this is for him now, he's got to make it in the Prem now, because if he doesn't, it's another one of them. It's like, he might go on to have a good career, but people will always say, couldn't come over here and cut it. And, these next 4 or 5 years for him are huge now. But the thing for United, they got bigger issues. If their front three's not bad, they got like Rashford, Greenwood, Cavani was flying.
No, but Cavani's only got a year left. I think that's it though now. I think Rashford maybe down the middle, Greenwood on the right, Sancho maybe on the left, or vice versa.
Can't argue with that, can you? Even as a Liverpool fan.
I just think that'll be their. It kills me to say it. I think United will be flying next season. I really do. Fernandes in midfield. If Fernandes and Pogba can, get the shit. Well, Fernandes has got his shit together, but if Pogba can, I think they could be really, really.
I think
good.
They'll always concede goals, which is the one thing. Because
not with my best mate Harry Maguire at the back.
Yeah. Has he followed you back yet? So you can't stay fit, and then you got the other guy Lindelof, who's he's an okay defender. He's not.
I think if they can get another defender though, United maybe, then I just think going forward the front three with them getting him.
I think neutrally, if you're looking at it, there's no other way of looking at it than saying good signing. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's got everything there. No, it's like 75 mil or whatever, but it's not on in today's market. No, it's just, it is what it is now. Isn't
it mad to think some of the players we bought when we were growing up, that we bought for like the fees you're talking about?
But if you look like Zidane at the top, he went for like 40 and everyone was like, oh my god,
did he go for 40?
Yeah, something big like that. But at the time it was like ridiculous. Massive, Ferdinand, didn't he go for like 29 and everyone was like, oh my god, this is crazy. But yeah, if you look at some of the bargains, but all about inflation, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm just trying to keep a couple of the questions on.
It's great, we got a load of questions though.
Yeah, got so many. Thanks for the buy into the questions. Michael Dicko said, not a question, just love the pod. So nice one for that. I'm just trying to keep it footy for a little bit before we go on to some of the other things. Some great topics, by the way, to talk about. Transfer rumours. I haven't really heard that many.
No, it only opened sort of like within the last day or so. This is where it starts. See that Ben White? They're talking about him, the lad who's in the he's in the England squad, isn't he, from Brighton? Arsenal talking about like 55 million or something for him, which is it's mad. But see, Messi's thing's out, isn't it? Messi's contract's up.
Yeah, he's free agent, isn't he?
That's ridiculous, isn't it?
You know what I think's mad? Right, and listen, I know a lot of them are millionaires now, but you know, if you've been on, like Messi's on like 400 grand a week.
Yeah.
Do you think on Friday, right, when he licks his bank and there's 400 grand doesn't go in?
No, I don't reckon he's asked.
Hear me out. You've been getting paid 400 grand a week for the last 4 years of his contract, and then on Friday he's not employed by Barca anymore, and he looks at his bank check and he goes, hey babe, I'm mad, that 400 grand's not going in anymore.
Can you cover the council tax?
The ground rent hasn't been paid.
Yeah. Everyone's on furlough in Messi's life now, but no, he'd probably still get it. They'd probably say, yeah, we keep paying you to stay, please.
Maybe not Messi, that's a bad example, but I reckon, you know, players when they retire, if you're on 50 grand a week and suddenly you stop getting it.
You're on 50 grand a week, but your life's then designed around earning 50 grand a week.
That's what I mean. Well, Messi's life, 400 grand. Listen, don't compare me, he's a different kettle of fish, but yeah, he's free agent.
I reckon a little bit of tax evasion's kept him alright.
Yeah.
Like that lifting the floorboards up.
Yeah, he's been to them a couple of times, hasn't he?
Yeah.
It's not going away, that, is it?
It's always a bash fun to judge. He's like that. I'll give you the shirt later.
Yeah.
But yeah.
If he wants to appear on the sportscast line, you know, there's always
we'll quiz you on tax evasion. But yeah,
have you ever had a tax bill going off? Oh,
no.
I had a horrible one, you know, come through.
Did you?
Yeah, horrible.
You just think like that thrown in the bin.
Probably best better.
Yeah, we need Tom for that one.
Less spoken about that, the better. No, it's horrible when they fucking
And they get you. But I think on his level, wasn't his tax bill like
silly,
60
mate.
million or something?
Fucking silly.
But yeah, I think it'll definitely ramp up now, won't it, in terms of the transfer rumours. Liverpool's quiet as anything, but
I've not heard any. And I don't know, as a Liverpool fan,
where we're going to go.
Where I want it improve.
I think we need to, in terms of, because...
Where though? I mean...
It's not so much where, it's who, isn't it? It's keeping it like, you know, you need to bring players in who are going to take people up to the next level. We can't get to the point where, like, sort of Henderson, Thiago and Fabinho walking into training every week and know that as long as they're a 6 this week, the sound are playing. And I know it's hard to get players in to do that, but that's all what all the best squads have. And we know, like, we lost Van Dijk and Gomez, we didn't prepare for that. What's saying, like, you know, we play Norwich and Salah does his ACL, then what do we do? You know, I know we've got Jota, but, like, you have to evolve. I know it's gone great for us over the years, apart from last season, but I just don't think you can ever rest. Not in this. Look at City. They're going to go and spend Grealish and Kane for the best part of 200 million, and you'd say the same to them. Where are they going to fit in? And maybe they don't on the first day of the season, but they eventually do.
But I think Kane goes in for where Aguero is, and that's a straight swap almost.
Yeah, but he wasn't playing, was he? They were doing that old false 9 thing with like Foden and stuff like that. But I think if you don't evolve,
I just think there's not, you know, you've got Jota to come in, maybe he'll play a lot more than Firmino this season, or at least just as much. I think midfield, those midfield three would be my starting pick every week. But you've got Chamberlain there. I don't know whether Minamino's going to come back in or what. I don't know what's happening with him. If Keita, I've been saying this for a couple of years now, if he can, do you reckon?
No, I just don't think he's cut out for it. It's a different level, isn't it? It's okay.
He's got mad injuries, like his abductor.
I've said this all the time. He always has injuries, you can't do a scan on. Yeah. He goes, I'm out for a week. Who've we got next week? United away. And then Burnley at home, he's like that running down.
Well, I think though, if they can get him, well, they need to get rid of him and get the money in, but they just need someone, who can do a job. But I know, and this is why I would never make it as a manager. I just think our starting 11 is boss. So it's so difficult then to try and crowbar someone you want in.
It's the thing, like, you know, if we want to go and like win the league and win the Champions League again. Last year when Trent and Robinson were terrible, we had the lad who's come into Miscast were clearly not good enough. So you then go, just keep playing Robertson because, you know, the alternative's not better than Robertson playing crap. We need to get around the pitch where it's like, you know, if you do go for a run of 5 games, you not so like drop you, but Klopp could say, for example, to Trent, just come out for 2 weeks, go get yourself sorted, then you'll come back in. But there's competition, do you know what I mean? And I just don't think it's not healthy to have a team where it's like our starting 11's boss, the squad. Like,
no, you're right.
For example, like Chamberlain, who I think's a good player, but he's just a good player. Do you know what I mean? It's always like...
He's so injury prone as well, isn't he?
Like, if, for example, Thiago doesn't play too good, you go, right, come out, Chamberlain's going to go in, but you know Chamberlain's only going to be a 6 or 7. You go, yeah, Thiago, go back in. It's not like, shit, I'm out the team.
Yeah.
I've got a fucking over level here now.
I just think if they're going to be spending big money, I just don't know what area you're trying it first.
I just don't know whether we've got them, whether the owners are going to, you know, with all this Super League thing, are going to say, you know, we haven't got the dough. And
I think like Shaqiri, Origi and Keita, then if they're going to get rid of them and bring in, but my only hesitance is, okay, what do you do, bring in a left or right back then? Do you bring in a centre mid? Do you bring in a striker? With that argument that you're saying, which is a valid one, it's where do you pick first?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting. I've not really heard much rumours, but that's how Liverpool tend to do the last few years. You don't hear nothing and then you swoop in last minute.
There's a couple of players who are playing well in the Euros who look like they get moves, like that kid Locatelli from Italy. He's brilliant. He's you know, he's going to go. Then you've got like, I've seen Leicester sort of looking around. I seen something the other day on the BBC. Leicester like monitoring like the Italian team, because I was saying, you know, like they got players from like Sassuolo, Udinese, all these teams, and like these players are barely heard of. You know, Leicester are the type of club that'll take him, but you know, I think it'd be a big. We're going to come on to it inevitably, but Everton are going to have to go in heavy, I imagine. So yeah, it's gonna. I think it opens today when we record, and then I think it'll just be a big one.
Well, on that note, then, Everton, they finally appointed Rafa Benitez. Oh, mad!
It is. It's hard, and like it's mad, and it's. I'm not often. I'm speechless, like, but when that come through, I was just like, I mean, half fair play and half what are you doing?
It brings back to when you said he put on his Instagram a minute back in Liverpool, and that hilarious. That.
Any jobs?
But there's part of me, and I'm just gonna try and stay impartial here. As I read, I'm thinking this is gonna be funny because he's not gonna do nothing with them, and it'll just make it even funnier to rub in the Blues' faces when you know, a manager who wins just the Champions League doesn't do nothing for them. But then I think, shit, he's actually a good manager when he gets it right, and he could do something with them. But then I think, he's not going to win the league with them. He's not going to win the Champions League with them. So let's just say he gets them a League Cup. I think that's, though, is still a win for Liverpool fans, because you go, your greatest ever manager, he stopped the trophy drought in 30 years. He won you the League Cup, the fucking League Cup. He won us the Champions League. And I think the Blues now have got themselves into a position where it's almost, unless he can win the league or the Champions League, it's a bit of a no-win.
Yeah, I think if he got them a trophy for, like, I think there's a certain generation who'd be like, fuck Liverpool, we've got a fucking trophy, do you know what I mean? That's all we wanted. But there would always be that tinge of it was with Rafa Benitez, but
that's what I mean, and that, for that, and I'm not trying to be bitter and take the piss, but I just think if he does get them a League Cup and FA Cup, you know, the banter in the pub's going to be, lads, he's fucking, he won us the Champions League, he's won you a fucking League Cup, you messing?
He'd be the only man to have a picture on the Kop and in the Gladys.
Well, that's the other thing, did he keep that flag on the Kop?
It's tough, innit? I mean, to be honest, for me, I'm not really, from a footballing sense, I don't care that he's gone there. Like, for me, it's not, I don't believe it's like, oh, he was our manager and he's gone there. As a Liverpool fan, I don't really care, because the way I weigh it up is if our manager was vacant now, would anyone say get Rafa Benitez in? I wouldn't. Do you know what I mean? I
did want Rafa before Jurgen.
Just to what for? Just
back in. Yeah. I just thought.
For me, it's just not. I just don't think. I think he was once at a level, and I think it's very comparable to Jose Mourinho. And I don't believe he's a bad manager now. I think he's probably a good manager, but at a certain level. You know, I don't think he's ever going to go and win leagues, win Champions Leagues. I can see him winning a cup with Everton, because he knows how to win cup competitions, which is like it's a skill in itself, really. But for Everton, I think it's just, I don't see the upside, really. I've said this loads of times. I don't want Everton to be crap. Like, there's no part of me. I want us to beat them every year, but I don't want them to be like bereft down the bottom of the league. And
I remember the 2014 season when Liverpool nearly won the league and Everton were nearly in the Champions League. I think it was. The pub every week was great. Yeah, because Liverpool and Everton were both winning each week.
That's why I'd love it like that. But you know, I don't think he's the man to bring it back. I don't know where what the thinking is in terms of the ownership, because these are rich fellas who've been in big positions before and like made big decisions before. I just don't know how you sit down and look at him and say, you know, this is the guy who's going to take us forward. But I also think now at this point, all the shit about like I'm not supporting Everton again, or he's a red, like we said, like you're red, can't do this. You're Everton, you've not won anything for a long time. Everything's doom and gloom. Just get behind it. Like what are you gonna? And there's no one's gonna say, like, it's a funny argument on the radio yesterday. People like, I'm giving me ticket up. You're not gonna do that. You're gonna go. But instead of moaning and saying like he's a red, just say, what have we got to lose? You know, and if he gets sacked in 6 months, then you won, didn't you?
Well, that's the problem I think that they've got, which we mentioned a few weeks back. To me anyway, they've looked like they've went down every route. They've gone from within with Ferguson and Unsworth. They've gone for the young manager in Martinez and Moyes at the time.
Silva as well.
And then they've gone for the kind of, you know, the stalwart names of, you know, now Ancelotti, Koeman, you know, big names in European football. So they've done everything. And it's like...
On the flip side though, imagine he was a mad success. He'd be made up when he retired. He wouldn't have to pay for a bevy anyway. Both sides of the city, just like, you go. But, you know, if he was...
And listen, he does love the city, that's the thing.
Yeah, I think Gillan Ballaghay wrote a dead good article on the BBC, and it said the thing. He does. No one can say he doesn't love the city. Like, his family live here, and he's coming back to live here. It's like saying, if he got offered that job, he obviously believes he's a good manager still, clear, and he got offered the job. Why is he going to say no? Because he's a Liverpool legend. It just doesn't make sense. But,
no.
You know, you're not going to go, right... It's not like Liverpool are going to... If he rejects a job, Liverpool are going to walk over to him and go, come on, Rafa, lad, come be our manager. It doesn't work like that. Like we've said multiple times.
Number one.
Your morals don't pay your bills. And I know he's a wealthy man, but, you know, he's obviously still got ambition. He still wants to manage. So I think for him, for Benitez, it makes loads of sense. For Everton, not so much. But, you know, without risk, there's no reward, is there? So
yeah, my final thoughts on it is... if he's a success or not, and it's going to be on Everton fans what they determine as a success, whether that's Europe or a cup. I think it'll still get like laughed. I think there'll still be the butt of the jokes, I think, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think, you know, especially if the derbies go wrong from an Everton perspective, I think.
Just imagine Liverpool after 20 minutes, 3-0 up, the whole ground singing Rafa Benitez. Benitez looks like a fucking idiot standing there, doesn't he?
Gives that little wave thing that he does.
He probably won't get the sarcasm, will he?
No, he'd be like, nice one. But yeah, it's tough. Like,
it's going to be exciting anyway. It's going to be interesting.
I know, I can see only football can throw a little thing like this, though. Madness. It does, isn't it?
There was a bit of argy-bargy in the Tour de France. Did you see that?
The woman, yeah. She got arrested.
She had to hold... Anyone's not seeing it. She's holding a sign out. One of the cyclists clatters into it, and then just every
the
man
whole
and his
pile
dog.
up, yeah. How long do you reckon they train for the Tour de France?
Oh, God. Too long for that to happen.
Yeah, imagine that, and then, you know, you've done all this training, you know, your sponsors have paid you all this money, everything's great, and then you just get clattered by some woman. You
know what? I'll tell a little story off. It wasn't quite the Tour de France, but I got asked to do a 100-mile charity bike ride, which I did down in... It's called Ride 100 in London. You start off in central London, go around Surrey, and then back again. So anyway, I'm doing this bike ride, and my mate Vicey, who's been on the podcast, Paul Weiss, he's can't ride a normal bike, so he's on one of these like tricycle things that are quite low down to the floor. So I'm riding my little bike, and he goes, "Way!" and he comes up the inside, and it sounds so stupid, but wherever you look, you go, don't you? Do you know what I mean? So I went, "Hey!" and I've looked to the right hand side, and he's coming through like the tiniest gap in the world. And I've come in a little bit. He's kind of then went to the curb. He's hit the curb and then bounced back into me.
Oh, no.
I've fell over, took someone else out. Thankfully, I had my helmet on and all that. My helmet cracked. It was quite a serious fall. Me and Vicey were both thankfully all right, and as was this older guy. But we're both laughing, thinking like they weren't our bikes. It was a bit of a charity thing. We're like 20 miles in. We're like, "Oh, you're a fucking idiot, you!" And this poor fella had like you say, trained so long, and his bike was writ off. And it wasn't writ off. He like had to punch it and stuff now. And
he's fuming.
I don't think he was fuming because like we were all a bit like shook up a little bit, but you could tell he was a bit like,
not on way.
I was like, Bicey, what the fuck are you doing?
It was him.
Yeah. No,
But yeah,
it wasn't quite Tour de France,
yeah.
but that was...
You see, like, when they slow it down, you can see the cyclist, like, shouting at her. You just, like, see them... What are you thinking?
Oh, it's bad. Unless she's done it to try and...
Lucky she didn't get hurt, mate.
I don't know.
Like, seriously, it.
Unless she's done it to try and make a scene or something.
What, like a streaker?
Got us talking about it,
To be fair, yeah. She'd be on Big Brother or something.
That's what people are famous for these days.
Telling you.
Imagine that little thing at the bottom come up. Once caused a huge crack in the sun.
Yeah. She'll have a clothing range out and everything. Boo-hoo.
Love Island, everything.
Yeah, crazy.
Right, we've done quite a good topic, which I think will be quite funny, which brings us on to Dragon Symbol. Rich said, what's the greatest success and worst luck stories when it comes to gambling? I've got a couple of real good ones. Bad ones. I've made like bad mistakes and had bad losses, but like being really unlucky, none of them come to me on the top of my head. Your Dragon Symbol is probably the unluckiest one.
That's as bad as it gets, like, but I've had a couple, like last week where John to Davis, where I found a dead good price in boxing, and I've got to the point where I'm like, you know, the fight's in its like later stages, and I'm thinking, and I always do it, and I gotta train myself out of it. Basically, like, done, I've won. Do you know what I mean? Just get through a minute, or I think there was a minute left of that round 3. But usually when you get to round 12, unless it's like, you know, a big rivalry, round 12 is usually everyone accepts that we're going a distance, so let's just...
Yeah.
And so I've had a couple of them, and I just, you know, the old Kenny Rogers, don't count your money thing. But so they do me head in. But I can't ever remember being as unlucky as Dragon Symbol. And I've had some big bets in the past, like, you know, money that I've won and then gone again, and I can't remember being as deflated and as like beaten as that.
It's sickening to win it and then
they're appealing it, you know.
I know.
Yeah, so
will you get your money?
I don't know. I've been reading terms and conditions all week. On live chat and everything, there's like, oh,
I'm on for a couple of quid as well if they end up doing that.
So I don't know how it works, but I don't reckon you get your money straight away. I think they do a big thing.
Oh,
but
yeah. I had a little unlucky one. I was telling Jordan, I done it on just one Wimbledon. Done a 16-fold tennis accumulator, all the favourites, just as a bit of interest. 15 of them won, and one of them got beat on a tie-break in the 5th set, 8-6. Let me down for a couple of quid.
Ridiculous.
One of the I've got 2 really good betting stories. I don't gamble in the casino. I like playing in Vegas with playing craps, but I don't ever do roulette or blackjack. I've never touched the roulette fruit machine in my life. Always sport. But I was in Vegas, and I was joking with the lad saying I'm going to win 10 grand. Have I told you this story?
Yeah, I think you have, yeah.
Anyone who hasn't heard it, so I was going to win 10 grand, and they're like, have you won your money yet? And I wake up on the last morning, I think I had $250. So I went down to the casino just to be checked out, and I put 250 on red, and it comes in 500. 500 on red, it comes in 1,000. 1,000 on red, it comes in 2,000. 2,000 on red, it comes in 4,000. It's only like 10 o'clock in the morning in the Bellagio. Everyone's like, wow, you're fucking crazy, man. 4,000 on red, it comes in 8,000. And I'm like, fucking hell. But it doesn't feel like 8 grand.
Yeah,
you know what
yeah,
I mean? It's just 8 chips. That's all.
Especially
it is.
in Vegas, because you go there with the clear intention of losing everything you got.
Well, that's it. That took me spends what I wanted. And on the last morning, I had $250. So that was it. Out of the 8 grand, I pull 3 back. And I put, I pull 5 back and put 3 on red, and black comes in. So I've just lost 3 grand. And I'm like, fucking hell, what shall I do? So I've got 5, and I was like, nah, fuck it, 5 on red. And it comes in.
Yeah. Unbelievable,
man.
Doesn't get much better than that.
So I literally flew home with $10,000 in cash in my pocket. It was fucking mad.
Vegas, that's a Vegas story.
That's a Vegas
story. I think my biggest, the most satisfying win, or the one like that I'm most proud of, it was like last November. Joe Joyce fought Daniel Dubois, and I think Dubois was a mad favourite going in, really short. I just could not for the life of me. I researched it, and I couldn't understand why Dubois was favourite, and just basically based on the 2 fighters, not the hype or not like that, couldn't understand it. So I nearly talked myself out of the bet, but so come the day, I think I backed I put it up online as well. People were on it. It was before we were doing the podcast and stuff. Though I put up over 6.5 rounds, over 7.5, which were 5 to 6 and 11 to 10. Joe Joyce by KO, which was 3 to 1, and Joe Joyce between rounds 7 and 12, which was 10 to 1. And I backed them all, and like,
wow,
was quite in on the 10 to 1 shot. Honest to God, like, but I remember the next day I was made up, but I was thinking to myself, the biggest lesson I learned was like, don't doubt yourself, because of the odds. I think Dubois was, don't quote, I think it must have been 1 to 4, something like that, and he was a novice. Joe Joyce was an Olympic silver medalist, big, proper, handy unit, brilliant fighter, but like had not been built up the same way as Dubois, and it was the perfect storm. And I remember saying to myself, don't ever talk, like, just don't read the headlines. Yeah, I think the cup...
It's proper calculated.
Oh, mate. It feels the best. Do you know what I mean? When you know you've done the graft, then you get it. And I think, like, all, like, my close friends, my family, like, my dad, my brother, you know, extended family, like, they were on it, and we made up. But it was boss. Yeah, that was the most satisfying big bet I've ever won.
You've had some good success on, obviously, Ginge.
Yeah. Wow. They were good because I was brassic at the time. Because, like, when Splasher Ginge, like, the original horse that my dad owned, when he was in his pomp, it was like I was at uni. So we'd travel up, the lads I lived with, and we'd go to all these race meetings, and, like, so we were Cheltenham, Aintree, Newbury, and I think the first big one he won, Betfair Hurdle, he was 33 to 1, Newbury. We went down the night before. I'm telling you now, like, between our little group of friends, we had, I don't know, 120 quid between, like, 6 of us. Do you know what I mean? Nothing. And, like, cars on, like, no petrol and nothing like that. So we went the night before, stayed in Newbury, got pissed. Then the next day, we nearly got called off. It was, like, raining that bad, and he loved, obviously, the heavy ground. So when he was 33 to 1, and on the day, we did, all of us put 20 quid on. Everyone who was at the racing, there must have been 30 of us. Liverpool to beat Arsenal and Splashy Gins to win. So Liverpool played Arsenal on 12:30 kickoff. It was like 5-1 or 4-1 or something.
I was at that game.
We were 4-0 up in like 10 minutes or something like that. So then that rolls in. So then no one really thinking about it, but like we had this double on, and yeah, Gins won at 33 to 1. So I think the winning pot was like over 100 grand anyway. And then the double paid, I think 20 quid paid 1900.
Oh.
And like for university kids, like that was fucking, life was complete. But yeah, we went, I think my dad told the story actually, we went, I think we went back to the Hollow Bottom, which is in Cheltenham, or near Cheltenham, and so that was Saturday night. I think we went home Wednesday, didn't leave the pub, we slept in there, ate in there, drank for like till Wednesday.
Brilliant.
The journey home was the worst 3 hours, like, because you drink that much. Mate, we could every literally 10 yards stop the car. Just want to get out and like be sick. And then like, alright, I'm alright now. And then someone else stop the car, gotta get out. So like Newbury to Loughborough is not that far. I think it's like 2 hours. Took us a good 8 hours. Like.
That's a great one, that though.
We had loads of boss ones, like
because you got connections like that, like it's family, it's friends, it's all that linked.
Boss, like he won on New Year's Day once, and I went to a New Year's Eve party with my Mrs. Emily and like all my friends and that, and I stayed sober. I was like, I'm not drinking because I'm getting up at 6 and I'm driving to Cheltenham. Picked my granddad up at like 6 o'clock in the morning in Norris Green, drove to Cheltenham. The road, there was New Year's Day, no one on the road, so we got there, and he won that day as well. They just boss days that, like, obviously you'll never get back. But one of the best days, could be turned into a Ginge episode, this, he comes second on Grand National Day. He ran in a hurdle race, and he got chinned on the line, literally, like he's leading over the last fence. He got chinned on the line by AP McCoy on a horse called Lac Fontana, and he comes second that day, but it still remains my greatest day of the races, because I think the sort of word they got round that it was like a scout's owned horse, and the noise when he jumped the last, like, and he got chinned, but it was unbelievable. Hopefully, like, not goosebumps, hopefully when the fucking world stops self-combusting, more of these days, hopefully.
So many more of those days, mate. There's nothing better than just having that buzz, mate, is there?
No, fucking, to be honest, like, it's horrible. Like, before the racing's horrible.
Yeah. Like,
it's bad. Like, I'm shocking at watching my brother ride, even if he's doing some random race on a Tuesday afternoon. I hate it, but the nerves before a horse race for, you know, 4-legged animal that can't speak to you is mad. Like, you do get connected, do you know what I mean? And I don't spend every day with these horses or nothing, but like, it's great because how many people it brings together and that, like, Like, for example, some people now are mates through, like, lads I went to uni with, and now mates with people who I grew up with through a horse, do you know what I mean?
Horse,
And
yeah.
like, just,
Mad,
it does actually mean so much to so many
Yeah.
people. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, the best kind of, it's not the best story, but the biggest financial gain I had through a bet, which is not nothing compared to those stories that you've just explained. But I once had an accumulator in. I think it was I'd backed, I think 3 or 4 homes, 3 or 4 aways, and then I'd done them in a roll up all together. And there was an early kickoff. Have you seen that meme, by the way?
Gandhi.
Back the early kickoff. While I'm there, it was in the next girlfriends of mine. I'm sitting there with a dad watching a footy. I think Man United with the half-12 kickoff. It was fucking 1-1. And I was like, that's at least 2 of the bets down, all the homes and the roll-up gone. And Rashford scored in the last minute. He won 2-1. And then I went on with my day, whatever, done whatever. And then it got to like 5:30, and I was like, oh my God, they're all coming in. And I think I won like 36 grand.
Did you? Yeah. Wow.
I'd went heavy on them, like in the homes and on the ways, on the fourfolds, but then it was the roll up as well.
Yeah, no.
And
I thought you were going to say I won 500 quid or something.
No, yeah, I won a couple of quid.
Tell you what. Do you know, I've never won an accumulator.
Never?
Never ever in my life. So that my natural way into betting was horses with my granddad, Lucky 15 on a weekend, and doing paper accumulators at the bookies when I turned 18. I've never won an accumulator in my life.
No, I've had won a few. Like.
I'm awful. I reckon if I get like 3 in on a six,
should combine our knowledge.
if I get 3 in on a 7-fold, I'll be like decent.
Yeah.
I stopped doing them a long time ago now. But we set up a little kitty of man your knowledge, and we get some of the viewers on so
board.
bad at accumulators, it's untrue. Because I see people like, 2-1 at home, that'll do.
Yeah.
And get 4-0 at half time.
Yeah, no, I was like the way you are with the boxing, though, when I'm proper in me elements, I'm like looking in who's playing this weekend, what's the home record like, you know.
You've got to do it, haven't you?
Yeah. One thing, we've probably been rabbiting on loads now that we've talked about that, but one thing that we are going to discuss, if people are for it, and again, let us know, is doing some sort of fantasy football.
Yeah, there was an idea from someone messaged us,
Yeah, I can't find the message now, but yeah, it was a listener's idea.
Yeah, so we're going to set up a league with like an entry fee, keep some of the money back for and have sort of prizes for like weekly winners, monthly winners, sort of, and then obviously whoever at the end will win the money as well. But you know, if we can get a good core group of people, and like good numbers,
so we'll start getting that set up the next couple of weeks, and might be something of interest.
Be good for us to, obviously on here. I'll have a little section where we can talk about it and, you know, give people a little shout out to,
defo,
and then get the winner on at the end of the year.
Mate, talking about horse racing and gambling, we've took up a lot of time. Take a quick one, mate, on the boxing before we run over. Loma versus Tank, who wins?
Oh, mate, it's probably now after Loma's return there against Nakatani, looked brilliant, and obviously Tank being Tank. So unbelievable fight. I think it's if they did it at 130, where I think both of them are best naturally, I don't think you've got a better fight in world boxing, but tough, like right now, like if they were to fight tomorrow, I'd say Lomachenko wins on points, because I do think, as Barrios showed, Gervonta Davis can be outboxed, and I don't think he would be able to land on Lomachenko right now, but time's everything and age is everything. Lomachenko's going up, Tank's coming into his prime. He's a monster, so much power, it's ridiculous. So if it happens in a year's time, I'll probably be edging back towards Davis, but as I say, I think timing's everything. I think right now Lomachenko would win, but the longer it goes, you know, Davis all day long, really. I just hope he doesn't get like a foot 30, you know, well in his like late 30s, and then he gets him then, do you know what I mean, and just obliterates him.
Yeah.
Need to both get to 130 as soon as possible and just have it out. But yeah, as I said, doesn't get much better than them two fighting.
I think we answered most of them there, mate.
Boss.
I think we might have ran over a little bit, but either way, hope you've enjoyed it. Massive shout out again to Social Scousers and Monterex, our sponsors. Anything else you want to finish on?
No, mate, loved it. Let's obviously next week we've got McGregor Poirier, which will be a big one, and the return of Dragon Symbol.
One thing we haven't done, tips.
Oh yeah. Look at us. Lost our way.
I've got my tip.
Go on, you go.
My tip is, so this weekend's football, don't know if you know this, remember the old Milan Barros, Liverpool's
is he still playing?
check time? No, he's not playing, but Patrick is that how you say his name? Stick.
Yeah.
Stick. If he scores this weekend, I think he takes over Barros' record.
Does he?
Yeah. Him to score any time is drum roll.
You've got me there, I reckon.
Well, I just think, mate, they've got a chance anyway.
Yeah.
Where's it gone? Switch.
I need to start scrolling on the football betting.
Yeah, no, I was just having a little look, mate, and yeah, he's got he could potentially take over the record. 5-2.
Anytime?
Anytime, 5-2. 6-1 first goal.
Yeah.
But I want to go anytime, 5-2.
My bet is tough one because the prices aren't quite out yet. But it's tomorrow in the 7:23 at Beverley. Horse racing, horse called Gift Horse. Only a baby, but should be favourite. Maybe second favourite, but it'll be, I imagine, be way over the evens limit. But I'll try and post out when the odds come out. But so I say tomorrow, it's on Friday, 7:23 at Beverley. Should be about second favourite, Gift Horse.
Gift Horse and Stick anytime is your bets.
Good luck.
Good luck, nice one for listening, and I'll see you next week.